let's do the last section here, which is, okay, so there's three activities you can do to deal with an incident. There's posturing, tactical, and strategic. Now, from a military point of view, it's different between tactics and strategy. Tactics are what you do to win the immediate battle. Like we'll sneak them up behind them and shoot them. That's a tactic that solves the immediate problem. A strategy is a long-term thing. Like what are we going to do over the next 5 years to become more secure so this doesn't keep happening? That's what that is. Not to solve the immediate problem, but to, in the long term, make things better. And then there's posturing, which is just setting yourself up more for success with proper preparation. So posturing is things like making sure you understand who the boss is and who's in charge of what. You can contact people. You understand the rules of this communication. You have the resources and enough time set aside for this so that you're just ready to deal with an incident instead of, just being panicked and having no idea what to do or who should do it. Then there's tactical to solve the current problem. These will be things like rebuilding the systems, blocking IP addresses, changing passwords, explaining this to your stakeholders like your customers and the public, changing your business process so that this doesn't keep happening. Like maybe you've been sharing your data with partners so they can advertise or promote your business or something, and maybe you'll decide not to share so much data with people because it's too risky, that sort of thing. Then there's strategic, long-term improvements. These are what, like the beginners will just say, oh, just encrypt everything. Oh, just go to two-factor on everything. What, are you stupid? They say, well, that's not a stupid thing to do, but in fact, that will take us 3 years to implement. You don't just do that overnight. And that's these strategic things. You'll make a plan to switch to a more secure process like Google did. Google switched to two-factor on everything with USB keys. And they said it was extremely effective. They said after that, no phishing ever worked anymore. Got it down to 0, which is great. But, that was years to roll out. You don't do that overnight, and it's not cheap. But it's effective. So that sort of thing. So if you want to track your information, you need to keep track of what you've been doing, and you need to have an internal system. If you know, the Microsoft knowledge base is incredibly extensive. If you get a certification in Microsoft tech support, which I did a couple times, you learn a lot about how to search the Microsoft knowledge base. They have these knowledge base articles with 6-digit numbers where they have totally explained exactly how to fix this problem and that problem in Windows. And they come from their paying customers. If you're a corporate customer, you can pay for Microsoft tech support. And then when you have a problem, you take a memory image of your machine and you email it to Microsoft, and they will figure out exactly what the problem is. And they will have a special patch just to fix that one problem and stuff because you're paying for that. And then they write a knowledge base article explaining so anybody can look it up later. And if they have that problem, they have incredibly detailed saying exactly what caused this problem, exactly what to do about it. And that's what you want. You should be keeping track of when we resolved this incident, this is what we did, this is how we fixed it, this is what we found. And then when you have another incident, people can read that to see if it helps. That's what's a good idea. Have some kind of internal numbering system of that stuff. So you should be recording the evidence you collected with everything, including the chain of custody. If you have any interest in ever going to court, you're going to need that. Your systems, your files of interest, what was taken, a complete record of the incident, the hacker activity, the indicators of compromised, what accounts were compromised, what you requested. I must say, one thing I've heard many times in the government is the company got hacked, there was a problem, the team said, you really need to do this and this and this over the next 5 years, and then they totally didn't do it. So for the Splunk project, you upload screenshots for each flag you find. It could be a lot more than 5. That's right. You upload screenshots, and you also type the flags into the text field. Yeah, that makes it easier for my grader to see what you've done. Yeah, good. And, all right, and then you make reports. Sure, no, this is good. Always ask questions. That's why I'm here. That's why we have humans instead of just robots. All right. So your reports are your fundamental deliverables. If you're a consultant, that's mainly what you do is you make a report explaining what you've done. So you have a formal report to keep track of everything and keep it focused, and that's your deliverable. To your customer is the report. That's all right. And that's why all the expensive tools like Encase and FTK have a beautiful reporting feature. It'll make this beautiful PDF to make it look good, because then you give that to corporate bosses and they feel like they got their money's worth. I cannot be replaced by an AI. Well, some of it could. You could just have like a CTF, like if you go to like there's these online platforms where you just Hack the Box, where you practice, hacking into things, and there's like a forum where you can see what other people did. A lot of teaching can be done without a real teacher, but that's my own. What value I have is that I can offer some human results. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's true. Replace me by an AI. I was just hearing about this. This is what a lot of people thought. To fire all the teachers, replace them with AIs. A Chinese guy was saying this just today. He said we should use AI to personalize education for students. That was his idea that was going to happen. A Chinese tech executive was talking about that in The Economist today. But he wasn't going to replace all the teachers. What he said is it'll customize the education and gamify it for all the students, and then the teacher can focus on addressing the students' emotional needs or something. I don't know. Anyway, certainly I think he's right about this. The future is definitely going to be AI enhanced everything. Over the next 10 or 20 years, AI is going to be part of everything. It will not entirely replace the humans, but it will augment the humans. I think he's right about that. Anyway. Now I think there's already coding tools that offer code the way, when you write an email, Google will now suggest phrases for your email. There's coding tools that will suggest, coding phrases. And that's helping you. GPT-3. Yeah, for NLP, neuro-linguistic processing. I thought NLP had been kind of debunked. The old system where you would judge what people mean by whether they refer to feeling things or tasting things or smelling things. Oh, natural language processing. Okay, there's an older thing called neuro-linguistic something or other. It was sort of a bogus lie detector kind of thing. Natural language processing, that's real, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, neuro-linguistic programming, that was it. It was real popular in law enforcement a few decades ago. They thought just figuring out whether somebody's lying by whether their eyes go to the corner or something. There's a bunch of these techniques which go in and out of fashion. They never seem to really work well enough to gain a lot of traction. All right, let's do it. All right, so what's the fastest and easiest and most common way to collect data? Yeah, that's live response, where you just run a script and harvest some information from the running system. All right. What remediation phase would include changing passwords? All right, I guess that's tactical. Yeah, that'll stop the immediate attack. Okay. I was thinking it might even be considered strategic, but typically that's tactical. Okay, fair enough. I'm buying it. All right, what phase includes designating responsibilities? Yeah, that's posturing. That's preparing so you actually know who's in charge, what your job is, and all that. Then you're ready to handle an incident. All right, and who should not receive periodic reports of an investigation? Of course, the news. You don't tell them what's going on until you have carefully considered what you want to tell them, and you're sure you're telling them the right thing. You don't tell them some half-baked idea which is going to turn out to be wrong or to violate the law or something. You argue among yourselves and you tell the news media when you have decided what your message is. All right. What's funny is I've had versions of this question on my quizzes for years because this is just what happened, like I mentioned, the crooked CTO at the college. He found a problem, or so he thought, and he went straight to the press and didn't tell anybody inside. And I said, even freshman students who have no training at all on the first day of class know better than to do that. That's crazy. You would never do that. If you find some problem, you talk to the internal people to decide what to do. You don't go straight to the press unless your goal is to destroy the place, which apparently it was. Anyway. All right. All right, Clayton. All right, and row hit is here. Good. And RJ, good. A lot of different people getting points today. That's fine. All right. So I'll stop the recording.